Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're looking at a system that literally touches millions of lives, but is, well, it's so often completely misunderstood. We're going to open up the black box of the Malaysian Employees Provident Fund, the EPF, and figure out exactly how our futures are being built, ring it by ring it. Let's dive right in. So here's a question practically every working Malaysian has muttered under their breath while staring at their monthly payslip. Where does up to 24% of your salary actually go? Seriously, it just seems to magically disappear every single month into an account that, let's be honest, most of us have never fully grasped. We're not just talking about where it goes, but how it grows, and most importantly, when you can actually get your hands on it. 24%. I really want to pause on that number for a second, just to emphasize the sheer scale of this mandatory deduction. That is nearly a quarter of your total compensation being routed away. When you're dealing with a fraction of your income that massive, understanding the mechanics behind it, well, it's not just a good idea, it is absolutely crucial for your long-term financial well-being. To get us there, here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The missing 24%. 2. How contributions actually work. 3. The massive new 3-account split. 4. Growing your retirement fund. 5. Benchmarks and withdrawals. And finally, 6. Taking control today. All right, section 1. The missing 24%. Where does it actually go? Before we jump into the math, we really need to understand what the EPF, or KWSP in Malay, actually is at its core. It was established all the way back in 1951. It's a statutory body under the Ministry of Finance, and get this, it's actually one of the oldest provident funds in the entire world. The core purpose here is to act as a mandatory retirement savings scheme for private sector workers and some in the public sector too. So it's really not just some arbitrary tax. It is a meticulously designed structure built specifically for your future. Moving on to Section 2, how contributions actually work and understanding those inputs. Now, the biggest misconception I see out there is people confusing the EPF with a traditional pension. A defined benefit scheme that basically pays you a fixed amount based on your final salary and years of service. The EPF is completely different. It is a defined contribution scheme. This is a crucial point, guys. There is no guaranteed fixed pension formula waiting for you. What you get out at the end of the day depends entirely on what goes in from you and your employer, plus the compounded dividends over the years. So it's your money plus compounding time, plain and simple. Let's break down the actual math here. If you're an employee under the age of 60, you contribute 11% of your wages. Your employer then steps up and chips in another 12% to 13%, depending on your specific salary bracket. When you combine those two, boom, you hit that massive 23% to 24% total. That actually makes it one of the highest mandatory savings rates in the entire world. And here is a super fascinating fact. There is no salary ceiling whatsoever. Whether you're earning 3,000 or 50,000 ringgit a month, the percentages stay exactly the same. Oh, and by the way, wages doesn't just mean your basic salary. We're talking fixed allowances, commissions, and yes, your bonuses too. Okay, Section 3. The 3-account split. This was totally restructured in May 2024. For years and years, it was just 2 accounts. But right now, your incoming contributions are split 3 different ways. 75% goes straight into account Persaraan, which is actually a noticeably larger chunk than under the old system. Then, 15% goes into account Sejahtera. And finally, 10% goes into the brand new account Fleksibel. So let's detail the specific rules for each of these buckets. Account Persaraan holds that big 75% chunk, and it is strictly locked away until you hit age 55. Think of that as your absolutely untouchable core retirement fund. Next up is account Sejahtera, which holds 15%. This is for your pre-55 approved life cycle needs. Stuff like buying a house, covering medical expenses, paying for education, or even funding your Hajj. And finally, we have the new account Fleksibel, holding 10%. You can withdraw from this one anytime for literally any reason, as long as it's a minimum of 50 ringgit. But here is the truly incredible detail. All 3 of these accounts earn the exact same dividend rate. Yep, there's absolutely no financial penalty for having your money sit in the Fleksibel account. And this quote perfectly captures the mindset you need to have here. Use it like a buffer, not a wallet. Sure, account Fleksibel offers incredibly easy access to cash, but I strongly advise you to remember one thing. Every single early withdrawal you make permanently stops the compounding growth of that specific money, forever. It's meant to be a safety net for real emergencies, not a wallet for everyday spending.
Moving into Section 4, growing your retirement fund, and exactly how those dividends work.
Look, when you compare the recent 6.15% EPF dividend and its historical 5-year average of about 5.9% against standard bank fixed deposit rates, which are sitting somewhere around 2.5% to 3.5%, the difference is honestly staggering. Over the long run, this dynamic makes the EPF an incredibly robust, completely passive savings vehicle. It easily outpaces your traditional banking alternatives.
So what's actually powering those solid returns? Well, the EPF invests your funds across equities, bonds, real estate, and money markets. But here is the massive sleep at night safety net. Your principal contributions are 100% capital guaranteed by the government. The dividends, sure, they might fluctuate with the broader market, but you can literally never lose the base amount that you and your employer put in. Plus, whether you decide to choose the conventional or the Sharia savings option right in the app, it's worth noting they currently earn identical dividend rates.
All right, Section 5, benchmarks and withdrawals. Basically, are you actually saving enough? To give you concrete benchmark numbers instead of just, vague guesses, the EPF introduced the Retirement Income Adequacy, or RIA, framework in January 2026. Under this framework, the absolute minimum basic savings target for age 55 is 390,000 ringgit. Stepping up, the adequate savings target sits at 600,000 ringgits, and enhanced savings is pegged at 1 million ringgit or more. Let me tell you, having an actual hard number to work toward is infinitely better than just crossing your fingers and hoping you'll have enough to retire on. And to put this into perspective, let's trace the chronological life cycle of how you actually access that money. Starting at age 18, your account Fleksibel opens up for anytime access. Fast forward to age 50, and you're allowed to make a partial withdrawal from account Sejahtera. But the really big milestone, that's age 55. That's when your 3 accounts basically consolidate together, granting you much, much broader access. And if you decide to keep working after 55, those new contributions actually go into a separate account called account IMAS, which finally unlocks at age 60.
That brings us to Section 6, taking control today. Let's talk actionable steps.
We've decoded the system, right? So now let's focus on the immediate steps you can actually take today. First off, if you aren't a traditional 9-to-5 employee, you are definitely not left out. Freelancers and gig workers can actively boost their balances through Persaraan or Persaraan Plus. And get this, these actually feature government matching incentives. Homemakers can jump in using iSuri, which also offers matched incentives and was just recently extended to age 60. And hey, if you are a regular employee just looking to maximize that growth, voluntary top-ups through iSimpan or iTopUp actually qualify for personal tax relief. It's a win-win. You get to build your retirement fund and save on taxes today.
So here is your concrete action plan for today. Step 1. Log into your i-akaun app right now and just check your balance against those RIA benchmarks we talked about. See where you stand. Step 2. Verify and update your beneficiary nomination immediately. Seriously, it takes like 5 minutes, and it is the single most overlooked mistake people make. Just do it. And step 3, make sure to get free financial resources in the description below to plan your next steps effectively.
I want to leave you with a final kind of provocative thought to chew on. Stop treating your EPF like this mysterious black box that just blindly eats a chunk of your paycheck. Ask yourself, is your money actively compounding to hit that 390,000 ringgit basic target, or are you missing out? By truly understanding the mechanics, optimizing your accounts, and just letting compound interest do the heavy lifting for you, you can absolutely secure your financial future. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep planning, and I'll catch you in the next one.